Welcome back. I'm reliably informed the investigation took you to Quarrymill and Little Alamigo. So tell me, were you able to learn aught of La Habrea? Planted the knowledge of summoning in impressionable young minds, you say? Precisely the kind of deception the Asians would employ. While many of the ills that ail the land can be attributed to the calamity, some are being brought about by a malign will. We must needs delve deeper into this, while things remain quiet on the primal front. All work and no play makes Minfilia a dull scion. Did you say something? Nothing, my lady. Maybe we ought to rest a while before speaking further of the investigation. While you were tending to business in Thanalan, some new information arrived courtesy of our friends, the Sylphs. An individual fitting La Habrea's description has been sighted in the North Shroud. This sighting comes in the wake of a series of mysterious deaths in the self-same area. My instincts tell me that our man is involved. I would have you continue your investigation where you left off. 12 willing will pick up La Habrea's trail once more. Noraxia can furnish you with the details. Pray speak with her and take it from there. As always, be careful out there. Walking One is to investigate Sinister One, then heed well these one's words. This one is friends with a Walking One in the Ash Crown Consortium. According to Friendly One, a Digging One named Medrod had an encounter with a scary masked one. This masked one is most certainly Sinister One. Walking One should go and speak with Digging One, Medrod. Digging One is to be found at Full Gourd Float in the North Shroud. Please leave me be. I'm not long for this world. I look death in the face. 'Tis only a matter of time before he comes for me, just like he came for that poor woman. You're right, it's not as bad as it seems. I saw something terrible, that's true, but that hardly means I'm going to suffer the same fate. Thanks to you, I can think straight again. I believe I can even recount what I saw without losing it. It was just another ordinary day. I was headed back to the float when I noticed a suspicious character in the distance. A masked man garbed head to toe in black. He had a hideous fiend in tow, a winged creature that was an all eyeball and jagged teeth. Taken by curiosity, I crept as near as I dared. To see the corpse of a woman, one glimpse was enough to tell me that she'd died a gruesome death. In that instant, I knew right away that the masked man was a minion of Thal, come to claim her soul for his realm. What? You're investigating this same masked man? If that's the case, we'll help you in whatever way we can. Aye, anything to ensure that we won't have to suffer Medrod's hysteria ever again. Alright, teamwork, that's what I wanted to... Wait, I haven't been that bad, have I? At any rate, I'm all for helping this adventurer. It's the least I could do to repay her for comforting me. So here's what I know about the deaths. All the victims were found with their faces torn to shreds. Among the local fauna, only the scalekin known as Ziz could inflict such wounds. That's why some folk are pointing the finger at them. I somehow doubt that the answer's that simple, but for the sake of thoroughness, we should look into it. Why don't you put down, say, 3 of the creatures and see if you can find any proof connecting them to the deaths? You've already seen to the Ziz? Good work, adventurer. So were you able to find aught to suggest that the creatures are our culprits? Nothing? Truth be told, even if there were proof, I wouldn't know what it looked like. Anyway, I believe we can safely strike Z's from our list of suspects, which leaves us with the masked man and his winged eyeball. There's something else I heard about the deaths. It appears all the victims have been comely maidens. I'd better watch myself, eh? Unseemly japes aside, there's a rumour been going around. There's some as whisper that after each victim died, her rancor went into the great big rock southwest of here, causing it to flash and moan. This bears investigating, I reckon. I'm going to give you a fire sand stick to blow off a piece of that crag. The stick doesn't come with a fuse or anything, so you'll have to throw the thing. Once you've torn the rock a new one, bring back some of the fragments and I'll give them a gander. There's something you should know. I've been keeping this to myself, lest I worsen Medrod's paranoia, but I too have seen the winged eyeball. I cannot say whether it was a coincidence, but my sighting took place precisely the same time as Medrod's. I was heading home after a day of digging when a shadow fell over me. Looking up, I found myself locked in a gaze with a giant eyeball. I let out a scream at the top of my lungs and ran without once looking back. This happened at the rocky area west of here, in case you had a mind to investigate. Most folk are too scared to go within 100 yards of the Rock of Rancor. Aye, it has a name. But what's a few vengeful spirits to a dauntless adventurer like you, eh? Huh? Why, these are just your garden variety crystals. It is a bit hard to tell beneath all the dirt and grime, but they're definitely lightning aspected. I almost hate to say it, but that explains the flashing and the moaning. Nothing to do with the masked stranger. Looks like I've gone and wasted both your time and a perfectly good fire sand stick. Oh well. A monstrous bane mite appeared, and you slew it? That creature had long been a scourge upon the folk of Fulgord. Intentional or no, you've done us a great service. You have my gratitude. But this does make me wonder, was it truly a winged eyeball I saw, or merely a trick of light combined with blind panic? There have been no promising leads in the murders. I can scarce get a wink of sleep knowing that the killer is still at large. Judging by your furrowed brows, I take it this sorry business troubles you as much as it does me. I've been pondering my encounter. I was uncertain for a time, but there can be no doubt. It was a winged eyeball that I witnessed. It's implausible that I could have mistaken so distinct a creature for a bane mite. But you and I were miles apart. How could we have both seen it precisely at the same time? What's more, our adventurer friend here had a run-in with the bane mite at the very spot you claimed to see that fiendish eyeball. Isn't that right? There must be an explanation. I know I saw an eyeball with wings. I would wager an apple tart on it. Oh, he's serious. But listen, mayhap it's not as mysterious as we're making it out to be. There's no reason why there couldn't be... Gods, of course! There must be more than one of the buggers. Oh, it's so obvious! But then that means, since there have been repeated sightings of these fiends, then there must be even more victims as yet undiscovered. I do believe we're out of our depth. We ought to leave the rest to the expert. Why am I an expert all of a sudden? Yeah, we're just civilians after all. Good luck, adventurer. It was a pleasure knowing you. Wow. While I burn to know the truth, some things are best left unknown. Lest you have forgotten, it was at the rocky area to the west that I had my encounter. Should you discover aught of note, you'll want to alert the authorities. There's a guardhouse nearby. The serpents there should be pleased of any information that pertains to the security of the region. Greetings, adventurer. Is there aught I might assist you with? Gods be good, not again. No matter how many bodies I see, I cannot seem to get used to the horrid sight. Poor woman. Identical deaths have been reported in the central shroud. While the masked stranger you seek does not seem to feature in any, sightings of the winged eyeball are common enough. The creature appears to be moving the bodies, but to what end none can say. The victims have all been young women. All are found with their faces mutilated beyond recognition. It's been difficult to identify them, as to notify their necks of... This button engraved with a lily motif. The very same object was found upon another victim. A family sigil, or that of an organisation, perhaps. Either way, I dare to hope that this find will prove pivotal in solving the murders. I would have you hold on to the Lily button. You'll need it to continue investigation. While it's not standard procedure to entrust key evidence to individuals, you have proven yourself reliable and resourceful in this matter. I see no reason why you shouldn't carry on with your work. If I might make a suggestion, you may wish to take the button to Gridania and have it examined by Mion. Mayhaps someone in her vast network of contacts can shed light upon its sigil. Good morrow to you. By your grim expression, I suspect you aren't here for scones and herb tea. That sounds good, though. I'm totally here for tea. Well, isn't this a lovely little button? The engraving is quite exquisite. Artisan level quality, I'd say. Where did you say you found this? On a dead body? Lovely. Anyway, I'm afraid I do not recognise the Lily sigil. You'll have to find the answer the old-fashioned way, by asking around. You could do worse than beginning with Bernadette, over by the Aetherite Plaza. She has a sharp pair of eyes, that one. Need help tracking down the owner of a button? That's certainly not a request I receive on a regular basis. Well, go on then, show me what you have. Seems to be some manner of decorative button, reminiscent of those worn by the families of old, though I cannot claim to know its sigil. However, I can say with certainty that the white lily is a recurring theme in Gridanian culture. Alas, I do not know who would make a personal sigil of it. If there is a soul in Gridania who does, it could be... Canegold? Over at the Lancers Guild, the woman makes a point of knowing all the citizens on a forename basis. Bernadette believes that I can help you. Well, that is a rather bold assumption to make. I'll try to assist, never you fear, but whether aught comes of it is another matter. Now then, what do you require of me? Fascinating. Work of this quality is rarely seen in the hands of ordinary Gridanians. The owner of this button is most certainly well-to-do. You may wish to take your search to the Gentry's Ward, northwest of here. Wait, a memory comes to me. Of late there has been a man who is perpetually seated at the bench by the ward's entrance. His name is Ursendale, and I distinctly recall seeing a markedly similar button upon the breast of his jacket. I dare say he can tell you a thing or two about it. I do not believe we're acquainted. Pray leave me to my thoughts. The sigil of the D'Artancourt family. How is it you came to be in possession of this button? From the body of a murdered woman? Her face, was it marred in any way? I had feared as much. I can no longer feign ignorance. I shall reveal to you the truth of the deaths, but on one condition. You promise to put an end to my lady's madness and free her from her torment. I was once a manservant in the employ of one of the oldest and proudest families in Gridania, the D'Artancourt. During that time I had the honour of waiting upon Lady Amandine, mistress of the household. Fair as summer was she, and possessed of a heart befitting her radiance. Alas, the calamity wrought a great change in her. Though my lady escaped with her life, death may well have been a kind of fate. Never will I forget the day her bandages were removed, and she beheld her disfigured face for the first time. At that moment, the kindly woman I knew ceased to be. Unable to bear the thought of being seen, my lady sequestered herself within her chambers and refused all company. This continued for many uneasy moons, until one day, without warning, she began receiving queer guests. None among us knew whence they came, these masked men, but my lady believed that they would help her regain that which she had lost. So begin the rites of rejuvenation. These rituals seemed innocent enough in the beginning, but grew ever more grotesque as time went by. Eventually there came a day when my lady bound one of her handmaidens to her bed and proceeded to mutilate the poor girl's face. Suffice it to say, she did not survive the ordeal. It fell to me to dispose of her body. I performed the dreadful task as bade, obedient servant that I was, but when the time came to return to the house, my legs refused to move. I knew then that I could not go back to the place, not after the nightmare I'd witnessed. So it was that I left Hawke Manor, or Hawkey Manor, my home for nigh on half a century. It starts raining as he's telling me the spooky story. Long did I weep for the girl who was slain, and longer still for the woman that Lady Amandine had been. Yet one cannot weep forever, and I endeavour to put the matter behind me. Indeed, I had resolved never to speak of my experience until you appeared before me. My lady's madness must be ended, lest more innocent lives be lost. Lay her tormented soul to rest, as you swore to me you would. She awaits you at Hawk Manor, on the western edge of the central shroud. Go now, go and do what must be done. Ugh. Darkness has taken root within these halls, sprung from the most unlikely of seeds. One cannot help but admire the irrepressible spirit that quickens it to life. It's a pleasure to meet you at last, adventurer. You're every bit as intriguing as our master gave us to believe. It's no ordinary mortal who can acquire one crystal of light, much less 3. The crystals make you strong, and it is to that strength that the light is drawn. Heidelin shows well. A pity that your existence is irreconcilable with our own. We cannot well allow you to continue upon your present course. Alas, we came here not to play, but to take the measure of your strength for Master La Habrea. That task now accomplished, we take our leave of you. Fare you well, bringer of light. But like, how long has this been going on for then? Because that mansion looked in complete disrepair. You are returned. What sights awaited you within the manor? What has become of Lady Amandine? You must tell me all. It's not good news, I'm afraid. So she went as far as to consort with devils. Would that I could have done more to prevent her fall. May she finally find peace in the beyond. I know not whether the masked men you encountered are the same pair that first led my lady astray, but it's plain that they're of the same vile brood. Should the chance ever present itself, promise me that you will visit upon them tenfold the woe they have brought upon others. But who am I to speak of punishment? By my silence I allowed I know not how many innocent young women to die in unspeakable circumstances. It matters not wherefore, through misplaced loyalty, cowardice, or both, I'm an abettor to a gross crime. I'll surrender myself to the authorities, and accept whatever punishment they deem just. I only pray that the gods will have mercy on my soul. Welcome back. Full glad am I to see you safely returned. Tell me, how fared you on the sojourn to the Twelveswood? Two of La Habrea's minions, and they sought to measure your strength, by their own admission. The devils taunt us. It's beyond a doubt, then, the Ascians have begun to move in earnest. Would that we knew to what end. Yet I will not bemoan our plight. Thanks to your tireless efforts, we're at least aware of the encroaching darkness. Alas, we can only do so much. It's clear to me now that scions are too few to protect the realm against this threat unaided. We must needs alert the 3 nations to the presence of the elusive enemy, and recommend that they heighten their vigil. There's no shortage of misery in the world that the Ascians might exploit. We have an arduous struggle ahead of us. Yet come what may, we must not allow ourselves to become lost to hope, for that's precisely what the enemy desires. We've gleaned all we can from the information available to us. Let us set this investigation aside for the present. Another matter has arisen that requires your attention. Let me know when you're ready to be briefed, and I'll summon the others. Hey, I know you investigated murders and everything, but don't worry about that for now. Let's just do something else.
The Maelstrom requests our assistance.
Concerning the kobolds they sent such copious notes on, I presume?
Yes. And no. It has more to do with their findings, which portend a peril far greater than any beast tribe.
What sort of peril?
The perilous kind.
The worst kind. A tribe of kobolds in the vicinity of Limsa Lominsa has reawakened Titan. Our task will be to slay the Primal. The Maelstrom have sworn support for the endeavor. They are no strangers to the havoc kobolds can wreak.
Years before the Grand Company's reformation, two primals, Leviathan and Titan, chanced to converge upon the sea wall, wreaking untold devastation. There, by the grace of the Navigator, were the mercenaries Merlvib hired able to fend them off. Yet it did not take long for the beast tribes to regroup, and they summoned their primals once more.
Thankfully, their second coming was decidedly short-lived, but that is beside the point. So long as tormented souls will them to exist, the realm will never be rid of primals.
The Maelstrom has kept a watchful eye upon the beast tribes, and the kobolds in particular, ever since, which brings us to the matter at hand.
Unlike Ifrit, we know scarcely anything of Titan. Unfortunately, the only force known to have bested him, the modestly named Company of Heroes, disbanded 5 years since, and mercenaries are not in the habit of keeping chronicles.
Expect the worst. The Maelstrom's help is of course appreciated, but even if we had their whole armada at our disposal, we could still find ourselves overmatched. A pity the kobolds lack the gentle sensibilities of the sylphs. A peaceful resolution would be more than welcome. The echo will not avail you this time, I fear. If you are to survive, your steel must needs speak for you. No one would think you a coward were you to decline.
So you will accept? Thank you.
We can't very well send her to Limsa Lominsa without Y'shtola. Can we, Minfilia?
May I ask that of you, Y'shtola?
I never thought it in question.
Ever reliable. Very well. We will spare no effort to win victory. You may count on the full support of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, and all not afield will aid the fight from afar. Thancred, Ida, go to the Grand Companies. Tell them of our plight and solicit their support. Urianger, send word to the students of Baldessian, and Alfino if you would. Papalimo, compile all the information we have on Titan, little though it may be. You will be apprised of the tactical situation when you reach the Sailor's Ward. Provision yourself for the journey. May you walk in the light of the crystal.
Good to see you, Private. The Scions sent word that you were on your way. To business, then. It's as we told the antecedent. The kobolds have once again summoned Titan. A little over a moon ago, we began to observe the beastmen moving south in increasing numbers from Ogormoro. Our scouts subsequently confirmed the object of their aggression. Crystals, fodder for their fell primal. See, Merlvib is also very tall. Oh, we might be the same height. Thank you, High Commander. You may leave the rest to me. Your deeds bring glory to the Maelstrom. Right proud am I to call you one of our own. Forgive the lack of forewarning, High Commander. The Admiral wished to address you personally. We're no strangers to conflict. Long have the Sahagin and the kobolds plagued our people, nor is this the first time we've had to address a primal threat. In the past, when Titan rose to threaten the peace, it was to the company of heroes we turned. But they are long disbanded, and we must look to other brave souls blessed with the strength to face this foe. So it's now that we turn to the silence of the seventh dawn, confident in the belief that you are Limsa's best hope. I hope you're right, yet the situation is far from simple. The kobolds are not prone to unprovoked aggression. Did not the thalassocracy make a pact with the beastmen that each would keep to their own lands, and that no blood would be shed? And was it not the Laminsons who violated this agreement, dissatisfied with their lot? Shall we then condemn the beastmen for defending their homes? Even a pirate must one day reap what she's sown. I would advise you to choose your words with greater care, Lady Y'shtola. Stand down, High Commander. She has the right of it. I'm the Giant of Light. And the wrong is mine. Freely do I claim it. Yet it makes little difference. Remorse shall not shield us from Titan's wrath. Or would you have us fall upon our swords? My apologies, Admiral. The safety and security of Limsa Lominsa's citizenry are, of course, of paramount concern. Already with observed disruptions in the flow of aether further inland, the effects will be felt here in the city ere long. I ask much of you, I know, but the need is great. I trust I can count on you, Private. You have my thanks, along with the full support of the Maelstrom. I await good tidings. That the kobolds should summon Titan demonstrates they are no longer amenable to negotiation. This being the case, we must needs prepare for conflict. Before we meet Titan in the field, however, it would be wise to learn all we can of our foe, and I can think of no better source of information than the mercenaries who defeated him once before. The company of heroes may be no more, but several of its former members still live. It's said that one of them is employed at the Grey Fleet Mills in Lower Lenosia. Quite why a mercenary should choose to become a miller, I do not know. When you find him, mayhap you could ask him for me. Oh, I clicked by accident. You gonna say something, Venturer, or just keep staring? You want to know about the company of heroes? Ah, hells, price of bleeding fame. Can't a miller mill in peace no more? Still, seeing as you've come all this way, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to oblige you. Consider yourself lucky, lass. Old Track Tom was the company's best axeman. Now what was it you wanted to know? Oh, his outfit. Yeah. So you want to hear the tale of how the company of heroes bested a primal, do you? Let me guess, you mean that bastard Tidus, aye? Oh, if only you'd been there to see it. 'Twas a mighty struggle like the legends of old. Me and the boys fought him for 3 days and nights, we did. The ground trembled with every step Tidus took, and then when he hit you, girl, it felt like a cannonball to the gut. Rah! Just like that. Oi, what's that look for? I'm a goddamned hero. I'll have you know the people round here sing me praises. Don't tell me you only care about learning the secret tactics we used to beat old Tidus. Huh, well that's too bad, because now I'm not feeling charitable. If you're so damn desperate, then why don't you do me a favour and kill those rats that have made a nest by the windmill just south of here? Aye, do that and we'll talk. Hey, so the beasties are dead, are they? Nice work, Venturer. Saved me the hassle of... never mind. What, you asking about how we beat Tidus? I dunno, Venturer. It was a pretty risky strategy, the kind only a veteran of 10 score battles could rely on. I want to teach you, I truly do, but unless you prove you have what it takes to face that fat bastard, I can't in good conscience tell you a damn thing. At the very least, you'd need to be capable of slaying, say, a gubu. Come to think of it, that ain't a bad idea. Them creatures have a taste for the flour milled here, so you ought to have no trouble finding one in the vicinity. Course, I ain't asking you to cut one down quick as a skilled axeman like myself. Any road, why don't you try heading due west and stand and look out, case a gubu comes calling, Slay it, and I might consider telling you more about old Titus. You again? Then that Gubu was harassing the millers is dead. Didn't think you had it in you, Venturer. Still, you took forever and a day to get the job done. I'm still not sure if I should tell you our secrets. So, as I was saying, I still don't know if you got what it takes to face Titus. Maybe if you slew a... Tractum, you in here drinking again? If you are, that Gubu had better be dead. I knew it. Oh, it's dead, Chief. You have me word on that. Cleaved the beast's skull in two with me trusty axe, I did. Is that a fact? And what will your friend here say if I ask her? She'll vouch for me, of course. Ain't that right, friend? Tell me true, was it Tractum who slew that Gubu, or was it you? Chief, what are you saying? It's me, Tractum, the finest axeman ever to serve the company of heroes, the legendary mercenaries who slew that bastard, Titus. Titus? Titus? Who in the seven hells is Titus? Oh, I clicked, damn it. Oh, well, see, Titus was what me and the lads used to call him. That's the biggest load of Sahajin shite I've ever heard. Both of you outside will learn the truth the Laminson way. Tractum, if you didn't slay that Gubu, you may consider your contract revoked. Oh! I just shrug. Meh. Destroy the large why does he have a tiny boulder? You know the rules. First one to smash their boulder will be judged the slayer. And don't even think about trying to kill me, that's cheating. Who picked these boulders? They're nothing alike. Ah, the hell's with it. Let the contest begin. Cheating little bastard. Oh, wait, are you cheating? Who would be surprised? Paralysed, yeah. How you doing, lass? Feeling a bit stiff, by chance? This quest is bullshit. Ah! No. Feckin' paralysed, it's so annoying. No. Got it. Alright, I admit it. I lied about being the company of heroes, but I'm begging you, Chief, please don't dismiss me. I've learned my lesson, honest I have. Save your blubber and Tractum. Oh, I should have known. Mercy, please, I didn't want to deceive you, I swear. It's just that I kept getting turned away by all the folk I asked for work, and I panicked. See, the last job I had was at Costa del Sol, and there was this grizzled marauder everyone treated like royalty. When I heard he was captain in the company of heroes, I finally understood why. I wasn't being serious when I said I was one of them, but you went and believed me, so Look, his name was... Wayscate? Alright? He'll tell you how to defeat Titus, or whatever the hell that thing is. The thing's name is... That's what you wanted, ain't it? So come on then, tell the chief to forgive me. It's only fair.